日本時間24日、ダイヤモンドバックス戦に大谷翔平が1番投手兼指名打者で出場しました。これがレギュラーシーズン最後のリアル二刀流登板となります。大谷はここまでチーム最多の153試合に出場し、打率283、53本塁打、99打点、19盗塁を記録。打点と盗塁で節目の数字に迫っています。OPS、出塁率、長打率、1.018はナ・リーグ最高であり、141得点はメジャー全体最多となっています。投手としては13試合に登板し、1勝1敗、防御率3、29の成績を残しています。この唯一無二の才能の熱烈なファンとして知られるのが、アメリカの映画監督で大物俳優のロブロウです。ロウは米人気番組、リッチアイゼンショーに出演し、大谷への熱い思いを語りました。番組では、自身が長年野球を見続けてきた大ファンであることを明かしつつも、大谷翔平の活躍は信じられないと強調。翔平の偉業を人々が当然のように受け止めていると議論しました。さらに、大谷をリリーフで起用する可能性についても自身の見解を述べています。これらの模様を日本語字幕付きでご紹介します。
All right, now let's jump into your Los Angeles Dodgers getting set to defend its crown.
I saw this week. I've been watching baseball my whole life. It's and I've seen a lot. I've seen Kirk Gibson's home run. I saw the Big Red Machine in person.
Oh my God!
I've been really lucky and I've seen a lot. But I cannot believe that I witnessed a man pitch 5 no-hit innings using only about 58 pitches. And then the same man hit his 50th home run of the year. It's like you just can't believe that is possible.
Rob, we talked about that the next day on this program. And the manner in which we talked about it is that people take it for granted now from him. That this is a unicorn. He threw 5 no-hit innings.
Threw 100 miles an hour.
Stays in the game and then pokes his 50th home run out of the yard. And it's just like... Oh, okay. That's Shohei Ohtani.
And a moonshot.
He's unreal.
Anybody will tell you, the sound of his bat is unlike anybody that you've ever heard. And it's true. The first time I went and saw him live, that's what I was struck by. And I talked to Dave Roberts afterward. I go, is it just me? He goes, no, I've never heard anything like it.
Well, in the night where, last Friday night when Kershaw had his last regular season start there, Ohtani comes up after Kershaw leaves the game. Next half inning, he's up. Robbie Ray's on the mound. He's a Cy Young Award winner of his own right. And he threw something, like, was it 95, 96?
Inside and up.
And he poked it down the left field line for a 3-run jack. And then Mookie Betts comes up the next at bat. And then, by the way, later in the game, Freeman knocks in Ohtani and doubles and gets Betts to third, and I was looking at it. I mean, is that $500 million on the base paths?
Yeah,
right there.
By the way, do you remember when the ownership signed Ohtani? Everybody was like clutching their pearls about it. They've made that they made the investment back, I believe, within 4 months, just in terms of the new revenue from advertisers.
Sure. Well, they're not paying him till I think 21?
Yeah, that'll be studied. That'll be studied forever.
He's like, give it to me in a 401k. You know what I mean? Like it's unlike anything. But who's relieving? Would you want Ohtani to come out of the pen, Rob Lowe? Look at me giving you a specific baseball question.
You can't have him come out of the pen because he'd have to be in the bullpen, being ready, and he's going to be batting. So just that alone, you can't do.
I guess you'd have to warm him up. After could he homer? How about this?
I'd rather see.
This would be great in a baseball playoff game.
Right.
Ohtani homers. Chris, back me up. I don't think we've ever seen this, TJ, right?
I don't think it's ever existed. Homers.
He homers, and as he rounds home plate, he then runs to the bullpen
to warm
up to save the game he just gave the Dodgers to a lead.
That could happen.
Let's do it.
Wouldn't that be a first? Because he's just like, hey, I'm not up for another 8 batters.
No, if he's not up for another 8 batters...
And he just homers to give him the lead.
Okay.
Goes around home plate and then runs, doesn't go to the dugout. Or he does the dugout. He'll high-five everybody. Yeah. Then hop out of the other end and run out to the bullpen. What do you think?
I think that's a possibility.
Let's do it. Make it happy.
That's so fun.
Stupid.
Yeah.
But it's we cannot sit
Crazy.
here and say that is out of the realm of
It's not out of the realm.
No,
It's not.
Non-zero chance.
right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be so fun.
God, how amazing
Cannot
would
wait.
that be?
Hi, John. Well, for Shohei Ohtani, tonight will be his final start of the regular season. And if you look at the calendar as to what is a week from today, it'll be the start of the wild card. Dave Roberts today, he talked about just what he's been seeing from Shohei Ohtani and what this final month of the season, what his build-up and ramp-up has looked like, and what's going to be next for him. So like Dave Roberts said, what we do know is that he is going to be starting a game come the postseason in that first series. But what it looks like exactly, we don't know just yet. But for today, he does have one more test. The hope is for him to be able to get into the 6th inning or get through 6 innings of work. We know in his last outing in which he had 5 no-hit innings, the big question was, could they have pushed him into that 6th inning to keep going? Dave Roberts had said they didn't have a conversation until that point. And so now they've discussed what it would look like, him going a little bit deeper into the game and preparing for what it could look like come October and in the postseason. So, and I was talking to Dave Roberts just on the side a moment ago. I asked, what's more important? Is it the up downs or the pitch count for Shohei Ohtani? And he said he would like to get him to get to that 100 pitch count range so that if it were to come in October, it's something that Shohei is comfortable with, as well as Dave Roberts' guys. Well, Dave, in Shohei's last outing, he of course was excellent, getting through that 5 innings of no-hit work. When you look at him today, you've talked a little bit about how come October, if there was a need to maybe push him, that would potentially be a part of the conversation. Would that start today, or was that something that would start come October?
That could start today. Yeah, we've had good conversations. Obviously you've got to watch the game and see how it plays out. But if all goes well, we'd love to see him get into that 6th inning and through that 6th inning.
Considering this is likely just his final start of the season, when you look at what his build-up has looked like, kind of how the stuff has been playing, and considering how excellent it was in his last outing, have you just been kind of seeing what he's usually capable of on the mound?
Yeah, I think so. I think that, just seeing Shohei's kind of, obviously the performance over the last 3 or 4 starts, there's been a ramp up of intensity, performance, and I think that was his plan, and he even mentioned it. He's done with sort of that spring training mindset, and he's in playoff mode. So, this is going to be his last start before the postseason. So he's going to lay it all out there and pitch well, and we need to win this ball game.
With that being said, a week from today is Game 1 of the wild card series beginning. What's the likelihood that he starts a week from today?
We don't know yet. I think that it just kind of gives us some options, but the likelihood of him starting a playoff game in that first series are very high.
What gave you guys the comfort to go from 5 to 6 innings in the cap with him?
I think it's just more of, I mentioned it, after his last start, just kind of being able for him to see it, for us to see it, to give us a little bit more options in the postseason, and to kind of reach a marker that we haven't reached up to this point, and just feeling like we've got a really, really solid base. And for me, the conversations, and I just don't like the bait and switch, and so I feel really good with the conversation I had with Shohei about how today could potentially play out.
If you guys went on like a longer run, like how delicate is that balance going to be between still trying to protect him somewhat, but also trying to like get the most production you can out of him on both sides of the ball?
I think that this is me talking to the training staff, talking to Shohei, feeling like we've got a really good base now. And I think that there's a lot of innings that are still out there to be had. So, once we get to the postseason, it's about, winning. So, there's a reckless part of it, which I don't think we'll broach that point. But to think that us pushing him in a certain capacity or game. I can see something like that.
Exciting stuff. Shohei Ohtani in that starting rotation for October. Thank you very much, Kirsten. There was a lot of talk really the last couple weeks or so about the Dodgers using Shohei Ohtani out of the bullpen in the postseason. But now we hear Dave Roberts saying he's going to start one of those wild card games next week and maybe 6 innings if all goes well.
Yeah, I think they are lined up perfectly for the postseason, and I think Shohei will probably start game 1 if I had to guess in the wild card series. I might be completely wrong, but the reason I say that is because coming into a series, there's an off day. There's a travel day. You want him to not have to be the DH the day before he starts. You would like it to be that he can just concentrate on pitching and you can schedule his workouts, schedule his side work, schedule his weight training. So it is all about pitching and hitting in one day, but you come into it rested. So I love the way they're lined up right here. And if he pitches game 1 of a series, that allows him to concentrate on just hitting for about 3 or 4 days before he has to start thinking about pitching again. So I think you get the best of both worlds.
That's an incredible point. And you got to remember, Shohei Ohtani has had 700 plate appearances.
Wow.
700 plate appearances. He's walked over 100 times. At bats, 590. Hitting is so important to him and to our lineup. And I love what Oral mentioned. When you start him game 1, now you get him game 1, and he can really focus the next games on his hitting. So he's such an important piece offensively, and we're talking about the game 1 starter. That's wild to me still. That's how great of a player he is.